33. What do the mysterious pyramids signify? Nearly 1,000 pyramids have appeared on Earth, where humans reside. Pyramids are not only found in the Egyptian desert but also along the 30-degree latitude lines in the North and South Pacific, the North and South Atlantic, and the South Indian Ocean. They have also appeared in southern Honshu of Japan, the Mediterranean and along the coast of Portugal, the southeastern part of Africa in the southern hemisphere, the west coast of Australia, and the northern area of New Zealand. The pyramids were not built by humans, or it can be said that they were not built by the ancestors of present-day humans. Instead, they were built by gods who were instructed by the greatest creator. The gods then dispatched angels, celestial beings and Buddhas, to the earth to build them. If this is difficult to understand, we can say that they were built by aliens who came to the earth. The purpose of the pyramids was to receive and accumulate energy from the universe to supply the energy for the creation of life and humans on earth. The pyramids can be viewed as laboratories and cultivation sites for the creation of life and humans. The pyramids in Egypt were designed and built for the creation of humans, while other pyramids were built for the creation of other life forms. Since different life forms require different energies, the foundations of the pyramids are not all squares. Some are triangles, pentagons, and hexagons. The pyramids of Egypt are only 12,000 years old, while other pyramids are 2 billion years old. To understand how the pyramids were built and why they were built along the 30 degrees north and south latitude, please refer to the articles, The Origin of Life and The Origin of Humanity. When I was an English teacher in a secondary school, I taught my students an article about the pyramids that was in the textbook. At that time, I had not yet awakened, but the mysteries of the pyramids, especially the transportation of the huge stones weighing several tons and the tightness of the gaps between the stones, left me puzzled. When it was said that hundreds of thousands of Egyptians spent decades building the Khufu pyramid, I held a skeptical attitude. Later, a series of events that occurred to me, scenes in my dreams, and strange fragments that appeared in my consciousness when I was contemplating, finally made me awaken. Suddenly, the origin of the universe, the origin of the greatest creator, the origin of life, the origin of humanity, 36-dimensional spaces, and so on surged out like a tide. Once these things came out, I was no longer myself, a powerful force compelled me to act according to its consciousness. I now feel like a robot, like a servant. I have to write, keep writing, only by outlining what is in my head can I feel at ease. Otherwise, it will drive me crazy. Regarding the pyramids, I collected an article from Signify for everyone to contemplate and analyze. The full text is as follows. There are about 80 scattered pyramids on the west bank of the lower Nile River. They are the tombs of ancient Egyptian pharaohs, kings. Egyptians call them Burimus, pyramids, meaning high. From all sides, they are an isosceles triangle with a smaller top and a larger bottom, very similar to the Chinese character, gold, so people vividly call them pyramid. An incredibly complicated project. The greatest pyramid is the tomb of the pharaoh Khufu of the 4th dynasty. Built around 2700 BC, the pyramid is 146.5 meters high, equivalent to a 40-story skyscraper. The foundation of the pyramid is a square, and the length of each side is 230.6 meters. The pyramid covers an area of about 52,900 square meters. The Great Pyramid was built with approximately 2.3 million stones of different sizes. The lightest stone weighed 1.5 tons, and the average weight was about 2.5 tons, with a total weight of approximately 6.848 million tons. If we were to use trucks with a carrying capacity of 7 tons, it would require 978,286 trucks. If we were to connect these trucks end to end, the total length would be 6,200 kilometers, which is longer than the distance from Hainan Island in southern China to Mo in the north, or from the Pamir Plateau in the west to Shanghai in the east. Along the banks of the Yangtze River, the trucks would stretch from the Tuachuo River in the upper reaches to the Wusong entrance in the lower reaches. The second largest pyramid, just 3 meters shorter than the Great Pyramid, is the Khafre Pyramid, which is accompanied by a huge stone sculpture, the Sphinx with a human face and a lion's body. According to legend, in 2610 BC, the third pharaoh of the fourth dynasty of Egypt, Khafre, inspected his almost completed tomb and found a large abandoned boulder in the quarry. He ordered the stonemason to carve the statue according to his own face. The statue is 22 meters tall and 75 meters long. It wears a Nemes crown. On its forehead, there is a relief of a cobra. Under its chin, it is trailing a beard more than 5 meters long. The statue is stately and mysterious. When Napoleon occupied Egypt in 1798, he ordered the Sphinx to be bombarded with gunfire. However, it remained unmoved, but for a few broken beards, which are now preserved in the British Museum. According to Napoleon's rough estimate, if the stone pieces of the three neighboring pyramids of Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure were used to build a stone wall 3 meters high and 1 meter thick, it could encircle the entire France. Where did the massive number of stone pieces come from? Investigations show that ordinary stone pieces might have been quarried locally, but the 115,000 pieces of top-quality white limestone used on the outer layer might have been obtained from the quarry on the east bank of the Nile. The granite in the tomb chamber might have been quarried from Aswan, 500 miles away. Mining, transportation, river transport, and shore operations required not only a large number of stonemasons, construction workers, transport workers, and sailors, but also a considerable number of engineers, construction supervisors, managers, and a military force with sufficient suppression capabilities, which are also essential. Moreover, they needed to eat, wear clothes, live, and consume, which required a large service staff. Of course, this does not include the elderly, women, and children who are weaker in labor, nor does it include monks and nobles who gain without labor. According to an estimate, a national workforce of 50 million people would be needed to support such a construction project. However, it is generally believed that the total population of the world would not exceed 20 million around 3000 BC. What's more, there have been more than 80 pyramids discovered. Even if a pyramid could be completed in 30 years, as Herodotus stated in History, it would still require a total of 2,400 years to complete all the pyramids. Can Egypt sustain such massive consumption over such a long period?